exclusively for cybersecurity and B2B companies. I'm about to show you how you can achieve a predictable stream of qualified sales calls with your ideal buyers without having to rely on referrals, word of mouth, expensive ads, or hiring SDRs. You are possibly facing either of the following problems. Maybe you're always experiencing inconsistent lead flow, and this is why your pipeline is unpredictable. You aren't able to plan for scale, for growth, and always stuck in the feast or famine scenario. Secondly, you could be the sales bottleneck. And what I mean by that is when you're busy with other parts of running a cybersecurity company or a B2B company, what happens is growth gets stalled, revenue gets stalled because there isn't a proper process, sales or marketing process beyond yourself. Or maybe, and this is a very common one, you've tried cold email and it didn't work the way you wanted it to work. And maybe you've tried it in-house or you've hired a agency who burnt your investment and also your time. This is primarily why many cybersecurity companies, sales teams, and founders avoid cold outreach because they are skeptical and burned by spammy or lazy outreach methods. And as a result, they avoid this key growth channel. Now, what if there's a solution that gets you consistent sales meetings with your ideal buyers without having to rely on referrals, events, word of mouth, and hope that something pops into your door or burning through expensive ads? What about an outbound engine that books meetings directly into you or your team's calendar, allowing you or your team to focus on other areas of the business without damaging your growth? Thirdly, a cold email outreach process that works specifically for cybersecurity solutions or offers that build trust, qualifies prospects, and books meetings directly with ideal buyers, whilst maintaining complacency, respect, and precision. This is exactly why we've built the CyberScale system. Our offer is very simple. You will get 40 qualified sales calls in 90 days, or we continue to work for free until we hit our promised target for you. All done for you using our CyberScale system. Now, before moving on to more in depth with the CyberScale system, I want to introduce myself and work on also a few points as well. So, I'm Mohammed Munzir Hussain, founder of Miramo AI. I have a background in computer science and been in B2B marketing for close to 3 years now. Initially started off as a account manager, then a cold caller and SDR, working for a e-commerce brand on their B2B aspects. Me and my team have carried out projects in cybersecurity, B2B SaaS, tech recruitment, marketing, and e-commerce. After speaking with hundreds of cybersecurity founders via LinkedIn, webinars, and in person networking events, we have set ourselves on the mission to help young cybersecurity firms grow predictably and cost effectively in the long run, and also prove that cold outreach does work. Now, this is something I hear all the time. Cold email is dead. Cold email doesn't work for cybersecurity. Cold email doesn't work for our niche. And to be honest, as a cold email outreach specialist, that's actually true. I think that's true. And it's dead in the following cases. So, number one, zero personalization. If in 2025 you're still sending copy and pasted templates or ChatGPT prompted emails that does not resonate with your prospect, and you're still doing that, honestly, I wish you all the best. Back in 2015, you could get away with this. But remember, cold email outreach is just a marketing channel. And marketing is one of those things that evolve over time. So when something is overused, it becomes noise, annoying, and uninteresting. It also tells prospects that you haven't done homework, and hence why it's not worth replying to you. Because cybersecurity buyers, and we're talking C-level executives in these major companies that some of you guys are reaching out to, they can tell when a cold email is written with hyper personalization, as if it was only written for them, or versus a template. And even mentioning things like first name or company name isn't enough either. So it's really important to use hyper personalization in the emails. And in modern day, with automations possible, which we'll address later down this video. Secondly, is bad targeting. You are using or reaching out to the wrong lead list. And the problem with that is these people are not decision makers. So when that person receives your email of whichever cyber solution you are pitching to them or, informing them about, they are thinking to themselves, hey, this isn't relevant to me. Why should I care about pen test? That's the job of our CISO or head of security. So why should I bother replying? And I receive dozens of them weekly from other bad cold emailers. That's why it's really important after strategy, after copywriting, that you dial down your list. That's where most of your energy should be spent. Thirdly, and we see this very often, saying phrases like, we guarantee to eliminate all your cyber threats in 30 days. And the reason that something like that fails when you put that in your copy is it overhypes claims, and that triggers skepticism from the prospect. Because what you have to remember is cybersecurity buyers, they value two things. They value credibility and precision. All right, so you don't want to come across as an unprofessional vendor when you're not, right? You have a great service. Why would you do that to yourself? Fourthly, non compliant or risky email infrastructure. I see many B2B companies still sending emails from their main domain, their primary domain, instead of purchasing subdomains to protect their main domain. And the inboxes that they're using to send these cold emails aren't warmed up properly. And normally, warming is at least 14 days to 3 weeks. On top of that, domains aren't set up with their records like SPF or DKM records. As a result of this, when you send cold emails, they are not ending up in prospects' inboxes, but rather on the spam folder. This is because the email provider has marked you as a spammy email and then eventually blacklisting your domain, and you cannot use it anymore. Fifth reason why cold email can be considered dead is there's no strategy behind your messaging. It's very weak and soft. You're not addressing your prospects' pain points, desires, or dream outcomes. Neither are you providing any value in your message. The aim should always be in your messaging to resonate with them, because resonance builds trust. Your reader, i.e., the recipient of that email, should feel understood and understand you as well. Sixth point, no follow up strategy. And this one is costing you money. The reason is many of you send one email and you get no responses, so you give up and move on to the next prospect. The truth is, many of your prospects are busy individual and this isn't something top of mind, and neither do they care about you just yet. That's why there's a famous saying in marketing that money is in the follow ups. This is why most of our positive and negative responses come after the second or third email that's sent to the same prospect. Now, bear in mind, if you have maybe a dozen or two dozens of prospects that you're following up, that you're targeting for 1 week, 2 weeks, and you're sending the initial email on Monday and then following up on them on Thursday, for example, that is something that's more controllable when done manually. But imagine doing hundreds of prospects or thousands of prospects. That's when you need an automated system that we cover in our CyberScale system that will show you in the coming minutes. And from a strategy perspective, even if you are following up and you're not getting responses or any traction, the reason is comes back to the messaging once again. You are not adding any value. You're just saying the common things, common lines, just circling back or just following up, maybe going from a different angle in terms of pain points or value or providing additional value. Seventh reason is you've outsourced to low quality SDRs or agencies that aren't up to date with cold outreach. They're either lacking experience and knowledge in maybe some of these factors or all of them. Things such as cold email outreach, deliverability, infrastructure setup, no proper go to market strategy, low copywriting abilities, understanding your offer, the cybersecurity deliverables that you offer as a service, and how do you actually package that for different unique ICPs or ideal customer profiles. We will not send the same message or the same copy to healthcare versus a B2B SaaS company. That's why using agency templates is not enough. Lastly, is your approach, trying to sell the service itself via email. And now that's dangerous. Saying things like, let's hop on a call to walk through the pricing and implementation next week. Now, the problem with that is it sounds pushy or aggressive in a sense, because remember, your sales, cybersecurity sales, are consultative, built on high trust, and involves multiple stakeholders. So, to remove that resistance and get that initial meeting in, there needs to be a tweak in your messaging strategy. Instead of trying to pitch the service via email, aim to sell the meeting via email. So as long as you can avoid these 8 things, these 8 pitfalls, you are in good hands. And it can work really well for cybersecurity companies because remember, cybersecurity buyers do not browse or scroll through Instagram or TikTok for cybersecurity solutions. They are already in a mature online location like their inbox, their Gmail or Outlook inbox. They expect to receive some sort of cold outreach email coming to them on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Average decision maker, CEO or the C-level executives, many of them reported that they receive roughly 50 to 120 emails a day. Some going into their inboxes, some landing into their spam. Now, that's very competitive, but you can still win because they don't respond to low value pitches, bad copies, or copy copy and pasted templates that has no value for them, or speaks their language based on their job role, their company's interest. But what they will respond to is messages that resonate with them with clear business outcomes. This way, you can resemble trust and credibility, which is essential for cyber sales. This is exactly how we are able to help a cybersecurity firm, Carefree Technology, book over 45 meetings, 409 sales opportunities, and over $2.9 million in pipeline opportunities in under 90 days, with an outstanding 3% reply rate. This is because our messaging was personalized, high volume, high scale, with great follow up systems, and reaching out to our prospects, qualified prospects, at the relevant timings. And this is what's possible with a CyberScale system like ourselves that we have created. And as long as you can avoid those 8 pitfalls that we've covered previously. Now, let's get back into the CyberScale system in more depth. Within 90 days, our aim is to give you a pipeline boost by providing you 40 qualified sales calls, book straight to your calendar. And the best part, it's risk free. If we don't deliver 40 qualified sales meetings within 90 days after launching the first campaign, then we will continue to work for free at our own cost until we fulfill our promise to you. This way, you will not need to live on feast and famine cycles, and you get to grow more predictably with peace of mind. And we'll also give you visibility, access to our softwares from which we do our work. So this will ensure transparency between both parties. This is a done for you service. So we'll handle the outreach completely, get our hands dirty into the deep things, and take few things from your plate or your team's plate. We'll handle the lead generation. So we have access to over 220 million data points, and from which we will find qualified prospects that we will also further enrich with AI once research, strategies, and segmentations have been completed. Copywriting that speaks the language of your cyber buyers. A/B test campaign optimization. So we will be testing your offer, pain point angles, call to actions, subject line, types of email openers, different job roles, targeting, industries, and so on and so forth for the best outcomes as fast as possible. Thirdly, we'll ensure to set up a strong deliverability infrastructure whilst protecting your brand's reputation and assets, i.e., your main domains, with the aim to ensure 95% deliverability straight into your prospects' inboxes. On top of that, we'll even handle your reply management of positive and negative leads or replies with our dedicated inbox manager, who is responsible for organizing meetings with you or your team directly into your calendar. And all you need to do is show up to that meeting. Our aim is to always reply to positive leads within 5 minutes, because the chances of a lead converting into a meeting, or if you are selling something else into a sale, that its peak. Alex Hormozi, a globally recognized entrepreneur, the author of $100 million Offers, highly recommend that book, who's currently doing, I think, $250 million in annual revenue, mentions that replying to a lead that's interested or has shown some sort of interest, even just an hour later, decreases your chances by 80% of them converting into a meeting or a sale by 80%. That's exactly why speed to lead is everything in business. Alongside research, campaign execution, solid infrastructure optimization, reply management, We'll organize bi-weekly meetings to review progress with yourselves, and more than happy, and you're more than welcome to give us your thoughts and feedbacks. Exchange ideas based on our experience, your experience selling that service, and so on. Another unique part of our CyberScale system is our cyber outbound engine digital asset. Let's say after working with us for 6 months, 12 months, or maybe even 3 months after the 90 days, you say to us, hey, it's been great working with you guys. Thank you for all the support and the qualified meetings booked. We've landed some deals as a result of this, but we wish to stop working for our own personal reasons. In that case, anytime you decide to do that after the 3 months period, we are more than happy to create you your cyber outbound revenue generation assets. Within 90 days, we've done dozens of different copies for different ICPs with different frameworks and strategies behind them. So, what we will do is give you the best performing campaign copies, i.e., battle tested copies that resulted in booked qualified meetings and great response rates, and also the strategies behind them. Following framework is not enough, but rather also why we came about using those copies is really important to understand. So you will also get the knowledge of the fundamentals that we used in those copies. Then verified databases of qualified prospects. A rule that we follow at Miramo AI is when we do targeted outreach to specific groups or segments, based on niche, industry, job role, and so on and so forth. We will run a campaign, and the campaign can go on for that specific campaign can go on for roughly 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks. But we do not reach out to them again until the next 3 months. So by that time, we've made multiple unique lead lists. These lead lists have also passed the bounce rate verification. So another step we have is after email addresses of these prospects are gathered, we pass them on to be double verified. This is to avoid risky or outdated emails, because if you have high bounce rates, that's another problem. And when email providers like Google or Gmail sees that you're having high bounce rates from the cold emails that you're sending, it puts your domain and the whole deliverability at risk. Thirdly, your warmed up email boxes, and we'll also add the guidelines what to do and when they reach a certain threshold of health deliverability metrics. So whenever it falls under 95% or so, what to do and etc. Spam shielded domains that will not get blacklisted. Shielded domains that have their SPF, DKIM records set up to avoid being blacklisted. And of course, upon your request, we are more than happy to create you checklist, PDF guides, and Loom recordings. Alongside that, if we have created any lead magnets, so lead magnets are free valuable resources that we used to generate replies and meetings with your ideal cyber buyers. So that could include case studies, checklists, demo recordings, and so on and so forth that you could use in your future campaigns if you decide to take this asset in house and run things yourself. And all of this will be written on the contract. Okie dokie. So if you're ready to fill your pipeline with qualified sales meetings booked straight into your calendar, allowing you to focus on other areas of your business and grow predictably at the same time, we have just four requirements. However, there are few cases where you should not book a call with us. If you are a new cybersecurity company who has never delivered work before, or you do not have any case studies, then we're not able to help you, unfortunately. And as a form of advice, I wouldn't recommend cold outreach just yet. if you're in that scenario. Secondly, if you're looking for some quick fixes or get rich quick type of a scheme or something like that, that's definitely a no. Thirdly, you have a DIY mindset of, oh, I can do this myself, then definitely a no as well. Lastly, if you have the mindset of, hey, guys, Miramo AI, do the work first, put your time, put your expertise, put your investments and your team's energy into these campaigns and do all the work for us. Once you get us results, we'll pay you. If you have that kind of mindset, please do not book a call. Other than that, as long as your cybersecurity firm is doing $25,000 in monthly revenue or $300,000 annually, has a product market fit. So for the service that you have offered, people have previously bought and is something that we can scale fast enough. Thirdly, you have case studies of the previously delivered work across different niches, industries, with the clear business outcomes and results. Lastly, as long as your average order value is above $4,000 one time or annually. So, what we mean by that is, for example, a one time service could be like a pen test or a risk assessment, and something that's annual would be ongoing subscription or ongoing monthly retainers for a service like Zero Threat, and so on and so forth. So if you meet these four requirements and you're ready to grow your pipeline with qualified buyers and grow in a predictable manner, book a call now. See you soon.